Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently using. And that is my Louis Vuitton Speedy 30 in the Demi-Azur print, the classic Speedy. Alright, so I have a ton of great questions for you and let's jump right in, shall we? The first question comes from Yvonne Marfaux, but I got a ton of direct messages on Instagram if I can discuss this in my next Minks Monday Q&A or if I can address it. And Yvonne writes, another YouTuber was being shamed for buying pre-loved items. What are your thoughts on this? Has anyone tried to shade you for buying pre-loved items? This is a fantastic question, and obviously this is in reference to what my very good friend Jerusha Couture has been going through on her Instagram and on her channel. A lot of people have been giving her so much hate for buying pre-loved items. So has anyone ever shaded me for buying pre-loved items? Not to my knowledge. I don't think I've ever seen a comment like that on my channel. It could be out there, but I can tell you this: whether it's out there or whether someone decides to tell me to my face or to shade me for buying pre-loved items, I couldn't care less. Absolutely, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do me. If I want to buy a pre-loved bag, I'm gonna buy a pre-loved bag. If I want to buy a brand new bag, then it's up to me. It's my prerogative, whichever path I choose to take. And what are my thoughts on this? You know, I've always been a big fan of the pre-loved market, and I've always talked about it on my channel. I think that the pre-loved market is fantastic for mainly two reasons, in my opinion. First one being that it's a great way to be able to add those discontinued items to your collection. So let's say maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't in the cards for you to add that collection, and you still, you put it on the wish list. It's something that you'd want to add to your collection at some point in time. But now, fast forward, all that time, now you're in a position where you can add that item to your collection. You can add that bag. The opportunity has presented itself, and the item that got away is now yours. So going the pre-loved route is the best way to be able to find those limited edition pieces. And the second reason for buying pre-loved, I've said it before and I will say it again, when you can save any type of money on any luxury good at any point in time, why the hell not? Why the hell not? You know, I think that it doesn't make the item less attractive. It doesn't take away from the item. It doesn't cheapen the item whatsoever by going the pre-loved route. You know, and for people that say, oh my gosh, you're buying pre-loved, ew. First of all, get off your high horse. And second of all, shut up. Because who are any of us to tell anyone else what they should or shouldn't do with their funds? You know, I've said this on my channel before too. People come on here and they're like, why are you doing this? Why are you buying an expensive handbag? It's kind of like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. They'll say something if it's pre-loved. They'll say something if it's brand new. And that's why I always say, you do you and I do me. If you want to buy a pre-loved bag, then go for it. If you want to go for a brand new item, then do what your heart desires. Whatever makes your heart sing, that's what you should end up going for. Because I'm not going to tell someone what they should or shouldn't do with their funds. If you want to invest your money, if you want to spend your money, if you want to grab your money and throw it up in the air and have it go to the four corners of the world, who am I to tell you what you should or shouldn't do? But it makes me laugh that people have that mentality that buying pre-loved somehow makes it so much less. Like, it's so, oh my god, it's a pre-loved item. So the savings that you're getting from going the pre-loved route can go towards a small leather good, can go towards a handbag, can go towards whatever it is that you want. So if anything, going the pre-loved route, you are a savvy shopper, and I'm all for it. Absolutely, I'm all for it. So these are just my thoughts, and I know she's getting a lot of slack for it, and that's not right. So fantastic question, and I hope that I was able to help and just kind of what Jerusha touched base on. Don't let someone ever shame you for any going the pre-loved market or anything that you do. Don't let someone make you feel less of yourself. Don't let someone have that type of power over you by any means whatsoever, because we work hard for our money, and whatever we choose to spend it on is our prerogative. So fantastic question. Question from Andrea Martinez. What do you think about the Louis Vuitton collab with Supreme? Personally, it is not for me, and I know a lot of people are just kind of disappointed at Louis Vuitton. They're kind of thinking, I can't believe that they collaborated with a company such as Supreme, especially because they tend to cater to different markets. But I do have to say, I have to give credit to Louis Vuitton on this one. And even though I'm not a fan, they truly thought outside the box with this collaboration, because I feel that, kind of like I said before, they cater to different markets. I think that they're going to get the type of market that they're going to attract are millennials, and I think that millennials, you know, there's already a lot of people causing a buzz about it. They can't wait for it to launch. And I think that they might end up coming for the collaboration, but they'll end up staying for Louis Vuitton. So maybe before, and I'm not trying, obviously I'm not, these are just my 2 cents. But I feel that if they look at the collaboration, they're like, ooh, this is great. You know, before maybe they said, oh, it's just Louis Vuitton. It's, you know, it's really nothing for me. But now it's something that causes more of an allure because it has that collaboration. And you know, it stayed very true to the Supreme style and the clothing, but it still has the twist and the quality of Louis Vuitton. So I think it's genius, to be honest, because they're going for a different market. So now Louis Vuitton's clientele is going to be that much more diverse, that much more. I mean, that many more people are going to be attracted to the fashion house. So like I said, they'll end up coming for Supreme, but they'll stay for Louis Vuitton. You know, and I will have to say that one of the things I feel that people might be disappointed with is that Supreme, for the most part, Supreme and Louis Vuitton have very, very vast price differences between them. I think that a t-shirt from Supreme ends up being $50 to $100, $150, don't quote me on it. Versus, for example, a t-shirt from Louis Vuitton starts at $450. So I think that some people might be disappointed when they're expecting the same price point to be for Supreme, not necessarily Louis Vuitton. But still, I think that it's going to create such, I mean, it's already creating such a buzz. It's already, I mean, people are going crazy. And the reason I say that is because I was at the boutique a few days ago and I was there for, I mean, I wasn't there too long, and there were so many people that were coming in, younger kids saying, when is the collaboration going, you know, where is it? They were just, they wanted so much more information. And even my sales associate, she said that the phones are constantly ringing. The collection is supposed to launch in July, and people are just like, I want it now. So like I said before, I think like it's not for me, but they truly knocked it out of the park with this collaboration. And like I said before, I think it'll end up doing them a lot better in the long run. And that way more people end up, you know, giving, if you will, Louis Vuitton a chance, and they'll like the quality of it, as most of us do. So yeah, I think it's crazy. It was insane because I kept seeing people come in. They're like, where are the items? Where are the shirts? Where's this? Where's that? And I was like, what is going on? It was crazy. So kudos, Louis Vuitton, kudos. All right, next question from Luigi Cortez. Which classic bag would you recommend to start a collection with? The Alma, the Neverfull, or the Speedy? And why? You said you love the Neverfull. Have you ever considered getting one in the epi leather? Okay, so which bag would I recommend to start a collection? The Alma, the Neverfull, or the Speedy? I do love the Alma. I feel it's, I don't know, I think it's a little too boxy. You know, and I've had 3 in my collection. All 3 of them have left my collection, so now I only have the BB. So I still love the Alma, but I don't know if I would recommend that as a starter piece. So it'd be between the Neverfull and the Speedy. So I'm a big fan. Big fan of the Speedy, right? And I'm a huge fan of the Neverfull, especially because the Neverfull is so incredibly versatile. You can use it for so many different, in so many different types of scenarios. So I love that aspect about it. But I will have to say, when it comes to the Speedy, there is just something about it. There is just something that makes my heart sing. It's very iconic. It's very, very classic. And I feel that most people might end up liking this a little bit more, maybe because it has the zippered closure. And I know a lot of people always comment about that. They love the Neverfull. They wish that it came with the zipper. So for that matter, I feel that this is just a great starter piece. You know, I absolutely love this bag. The Classic Speedy is one of my all-time favorites, even though I do have the bandolier on my wish list. But I think that personally, I would end up starting the collection with this one just because, again, it's so classic, so iconic, and it's just, I mean, you can fit so many things in there too. So I would have to say the Speedy, but I mean, the Neverfull is awesome. You guys know how I feel about that, so I won't get into that tangent. And you said you love the Neverfull. Have you ever considered getting an epi leather one? You know, it's funny because I see them all the time. Every time I go to the boutique, I kind of just browse around, but I've never, to be honest, I've never really given it much thought. So it's just one of those bags that I admire, but, yeah, I mean, I've never really thought, well, maybe I should add it to my collection, maybe I shouldn't. I've never put it on my wish list, I don't think. But yeah, so I think it's a beautiful bag, but I don't know. I don't know if I would ever end up getting one. So yeah, but great question. The Brown Girl Network. What is the best handbag you have ever owned in terms of quality and style? What is the best fashion house in your opinion? If you could have one bag in your collection, what would that be? This is a loaded question. Okay, so what is the best handbag you have ever owned in terms of quality and style? You know, at the moment, and I say at the moment only because I end up swaying all the time. So at the moment, I would have to say the Chanel medium large and the jumbo. I don't know why I didn't pull it up so I can show you guys. And the reason I would have to go with the Chanel is because, like I've said in previous videos, I love the way that it transitions from day to night with ease. It can go in literally any setting, whether you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans, whether you're wearing a dress or whatever it is. This can go with anything. So very, very easy to dress up and dress down. Some of the other bags, I do love them. They might be a little too casual at times, especially if you're going for a completely different look. But I think that with classic flaps in general, I think that they're exquisite, to be honest. And I know some people have said that they have issues with them. I haven't had any problems with either one of either my jumbo or my medium large. But I love this bag, and that's, I mean, obviously the reason why I put it in the luxury bags I couldn't live without. But at the moment, this is the bag, the medium large, more so than the jumbo. But I have to say both classic flaps are some of the best bags I've ever owned. The quality and just how great they have been wearing in the long run so far. And what is the best fashion house in your opinion? Okay, so even though I just said that the medium large is, you know, at the moment, is my favorite bag, even though I do love Chanel, and even though I've had more recent unboxings of the fashion house, my heart will forever belong to Louis Vuitton. There is just something about Louis Vuitton. I don't know what it is. I feel that when I go shopping at a Chanel boutique, I'm hanging out, I'm visiting, but when I go to a Louis Vuitton boutique, I feel like I'm home. I know that sounds so stupid to say, but I truly feel that way. I feel so much more comfortable. Even it doesn't matter, you know, the staff, it doesn't matter the location, just all together. I just feel so much more comfortable when I'm shopping at a Louis Vuitton boutique than at a Chanel boutique. So I don't know why that is, but big fan of Louis Vuitton, and I will forever be an addict. I did an ode, if you will, to my 6 key holder on Instagram the other day. You know, because a lot of you know that my 6 key holder from Louis Vuitton is like a million years old, but I still love it. I love it like the day that I got it. So Louis Vuitton for sure. All right, next question from Sheila Sylvester. Curious as to what makes a brand a luxury brand. Is it based on longevity, quality, a combination of the two, or something else? When I think of a luxury brand, first thing that comes to mind is quality. I feel that quality, history also adds to the brand, and in some cases, exclusivity. You know, kind of like Hermes, we all know, like the Birkins and the Kellys, you just can't go into a boutique and say, hey, this is what I want to buy. You know, some people have had all the luck doing that, but for the most part, that's very rare to hear. So I think that's what makes a luxury brand. And I wouldn't say price, because I feel that some bags or some fashion houses have the price tag, or, you know, they have, you know, very expensive pieces, but they don't have the same quality. So that's why I always put quality first. You know, kind of like what I mentioned on my bag band video, my bag band video, my Ban Island video. I don't even know if that made sense. Luxury, any luxury item, whether it's a car, a bag, a bracelet, jewelry, whatever it is, luxury is a want. It is definitely not a need. You know, kind of like what I said on that video. You don't need 20 handbags. You want 20 handbags. So, you know, definitely it's a combination of those 3 things that I said, but fantastic question. All right, next question from MPP275. What are your personal thoughts on the Louis Vuitton cosmetic and toiletry cases? Comparison. I'm having such a hard time deciding which is better. All right, so here I have the Louis Vuitton cosmetic pouch. This is in the PM size, or maybe they changed it to the small cosmetic pouch. I can't remember, but they ended up changing the name. So I have this guy, and then I also have the toiletry in the monogram in the 15. Obviously, this one you're able to get it in different sizes. All right, so out of the two, I've always said that I'm a big fan of this cosmetic pouch. I feel that it ends up fitting a lot more, especially between these two. So I like the fact that I've always been able to carry more items in here. I do like the size. I think that, you know, it's perfect to be able to fit in most smaller handbags with ease. But I will have to say that one of the biggest gripes that I have about this cosmetic case is the structure of it. I did have this in the Demi Ben, the Demi Azur, and the Monogram. I have since sold all three of them. And that's because of the way that it's made. On the corners here, they end up folding in, versus the toiletry, they end up stitching the pieces together. See what I mean? So you have different pieces of canvas, and this one, so it's just one continuous piece of canvas, and then they end up folding it in. And the reason why I'm not too big of a fan on this particular part, this particular detail of the item, is because over time this starts to wear very, very quickly, and it ends up kind of rubbing up on all of your other items. Even if you are careful, I consider myself to be an extremely careful person with my items for the most part, and sometimes it'll end up rubbing on the bag, it'll end up rubbing on whatever it is, and then you will start to see that rubbing turns into cracking canvas. And of course, when it comes to cracking canvas, there's nothing that you can do. So I love the design of it, I just don't like that particular detail. So that's why I ended up getting rid of the other three, because they started to have you know, very noticeable wear here. So I wasn't I wasn't too crazy about it. But I do like this again, because you don't run into that same problem. You don't have to worry about anything rubbing off, because you have separate parts, separate pieces of canvas. And like I said, there are different sizes of this, and a lot of people rave about this. I think it is a great item, but as far as which one fits more, I feel this one does. You know, especially because this one, currently I have 3 items in there. That's all I could end up fitting in there. And this one I ended up fitting like lip glosses, like tons and tons of lip glosses. So between the two, you know, this one fits more, but this has a better design altogether, and I feel will last a lot longer because of the design that this has. So hopefully that was able to help. All right, next question from Shopping with a Passion. What do you think about the Nice BB? Is it on your wish list? Do you see it becoming a hype item? I think it's gorgeous, but probably wouldn't add it to my collection. A couple hundred more is a bag, so I would need to work on my handbag collection. And I do have some eye candy for you, and I have a picture of the Nice BB right now. Okay, so the Nice ends up retailing for $885 here in the States. And what do I think of it? I absolutely love it. Is it on my wish list? Yes, it is. You know, and when I was at the store a couple days ago, it was there, and I was just thinking, should I get it? Should I get it? I resisted, so I'm very proud of myself. You know, and do I see it becoming a hype item? Not necessarily. And the only reason I say that is because I personally wouldn't end up using it as a handbag. I think it's, you know, some people use it as a handbag and it looks great, but for me personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't use it that way. And I'd only end up using it when I travel. And obviously I don't travel every single day. I travel, you know, a few times a year. So I want to get it. I'm hoping I can find it in London. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I would like to add it to my collection at some point in time, but maybe not necessarily right now. So I don't, like I said before, I don't think it's a hype item. And I love the fact that it looks like a train case, but it doesn't have that $2,000 price tag. You know what I mean? Because I am a big fan of train cases. I always have been. I love how, I mean, just the way that they're made. They are beautifully, beautifully made. So this is like, you know, the version that I can afford. So, yes, I absolutely love it. All right, next question from Moo Moo Kitty 1923. I finally completed my Chanel collection. Now I'm looking to dip my toes into the Gucci fashion house. I've been eyeing the GG Marmont Metlace in light pink antique gold hardware. Small size. I don't believe you have Gucci in your collection, but what's your opinion on their leather and resale value? I'm intrigued with the push button front opening. So this Gucci Marmont has caused such a buzz. You know, a lot of people are getting it. It's becoming very, very, very popular. So I think it is a beautiful, beautiful bag. You know, I love how, what I like about it the most is the fact that the leather is very soft, but it's not to the point where it's too delicate. So I love that aspect. One of the things that I personally am not too crazy about, only because some people have said that it ends up, it's very prone to chipping, is the antique gold hardware, because it does have an extra coating on top of it, so therefore it might end up showing more wear. It might end up chipping a lot faster than other, you know, brass pieces or another fashion house. So that's the only thing that I'm a little, you know, I'm a little worried about. But some people have said that they haven't had any issues, and some people have. So it's all a matter of, I guess, the item that that person ends up getting. And as far as resale value goes, I think that Gucci is absolutely killing it. They are still killing it. They are introducing bags that are still, they're becoming the it bags. And obviously that ends up adding to the resale value, especially because Gucci doesn't, you know, they don't just cater to one type of client. They are diversifying their clientele, you know, so they have clutches, they have crossbodies, they have everything, they have something for everyone. So I absolutely, you know, I absolutely love the fashion house and what they're doing, and it's crazy to say because I had such a bad taste with Gucci before, but I would like to, I don't know what Gucci bag I would like to add to my collection. I know, I appreciate them and I like them. I just don't know which one I would end up just kind of pulling the trigger on. But so far, like I said before, a lot of people rave about the leather and how great it is that it ends up holding up. So yeah, so hopefully that was able to help. And if you do get it, congratulations. All right, next question from a sweet Nalia. How do you feel about Chanel brooches that are more than $700? What is your cutoff price when it comes to Chanel accessories such as brooches and necklaces? Okay, so I have said it before. I'm a big fan of the the traditional pearl necklace from Chanel. They usually retail from like $1,750 to $2,200, $3,000. I mean, they're crazy priced, and they are glass. It's not that it's, you know, it's a real pearl. So some of them are, so don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about the costume jewelry, the fashion jewelry. So what is my cutoff point? To be honest, I try to make it at least the $575, the $600. I think that they are beautiful. I think that their accessories are stunning. You know, I own quite a bit of their earrings, but you know, I've had issues with the earrings losing their stones, you know, and one pair that I have that I always reference to, it actually is missing more stones. It's missing more than half of the stones. It's actually missing more like 3/4 of the stones that are supposed to be on the pair of earrings. So needless to say, I don't wear it as much. So I think that $575 is the cutoff point, $600, and that's giving it a lot, especially because of, you know, what I've experienced with with the jewelry before. It's like I know about it, but I'm still inclined to buy it, you know. But I think that their accessories are just gorgeous. Every time I go into the boutique, not only do the bags have this beautiful sparkle to them underneath the lights, but when I see their jewelry, I just start drooling, for lack of a better word. I just think that they're stunning, and at the end of the day, it is fashion jewelry. So, you know, I like them, but I have to be very careful as to what I add to my collection, again, only because of how they end up wearing. So I got to keep it real. Sorry. I know a lot of you guys are big fans of, you know, some of their more expensive jewelry, or they have beautiful fine jewelry, but obviously the price tags are insane. I'd much rather get a handbag. But this isn't a knock against anyone that has a big, you know, a large collection of Chanel fashion jewelry. Not at all. I'm just stating my opinion. All right, next one from Bella616. Since the Pochette Metis is still so popular, do you think that Louis Vuitton will eventually come out with it in Damier Ben? Oh man. Okay, so this is my thought process. I was thinking that it would make sense for them to bring it out in Damier Ben because it's so popular. Obviously, they've already increased the price because of that. But then I thought maybe they won't end up introducing it in Damier Ebene because they're introducing it in the Empreinte leather. You know, so part of me thinks maybe not, because now they're going for a completely different route. They're going for an all leather bag. But then it makes me think of the Felicie. It was introduced with the monogram, and now it has since been released in the Damier Ebene. So, you know, I think that because that is a popular bag, I think that they might end up doing it with Louis Vuitton, with the Pochette Metis. I'm not trying to start any rumors. I haven't heard anything, but I would be so ecstatic if that happened. And trust me, I will be the first one in line to get it, because I love Damier Ebene. You know, and I have 2 Damier Ebene prints in my collection, but that is my all-time favorite print. So, I mean, I would be like singing, ah, because it came out in Damier Ebene. But again, I feel like it might not, because they went with the Empreinte route. So we will see. All right, next question from When I See You. I think I am determined to buy a monogram Pochette Metis. I used to hate it, and the more I think about it, I actually love it, since I keep thinking about it all the time. Once I received my tax refund this year. But now I also have my eye on the Alma BB in Vernis, the rouge color. So when you have to make a decision between 2 items, how do you convince yourself to stick with your original choice? I did touch base on this on the Ban Island video. You know, make sure I reference the wish list. Did I do enough research on it? But when it comes to 2 items that I equally love, both items are on the wish list, and if I can only go for one or the other, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I go straight old school. I make a list of the pros and cons, you know, and that way I can see what ends up suiting my lifestyle the best, because even though I might have a bag on my wish list, I think it's beautiful, I think it's great, it might not end up working out, and the last thing that I want to do is end up having the bag just stay, you know, sit on my shelf. So I have to make sure that it's a bag that I'm going to use. It'll be in heavy rotation within my collection. So I think that old school pros and cons are the best way to go about it, you know, to be honest. So hopefully that was able to help. But I will also say that usually when I do my reviews, that's why I do it in the style that I do. I do the pros, the cons, and then do I recommend it? Because when it comes to reviews, I feel that I want to give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know, and a lot of people, you know, have said, why are you telling us the negative? Why are you doing this? Because I feel that just because an item is $1,000, just because an item is $500, because it's from Chanel, because it's from Hermes, because it's from Louis Vuitton, doesn't make it king. So that's why I try to give as much feedback as possible. And, you know, I always try to say, well, this ends up working out for me because of this. So I try to give as much information as possible. And that's why I feel that when I do the reviews, it ends up helping people out a little bit more, because I'm not just sitting there saying, oh my gosh, it's such a great item, blah, 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 you should get it. No, because there's so much more to it. You know, I want to tell you that the zipper turns me off because it's plastic. I want to tell you that it doesn't end up zipping up as great as possible, that it doesn't fit as many items as possible. So pros and cons. By far, best thing ever when it comes to deciding items that are on your wish list. And the last question from LL Nut. I own several Louis Vuitton pieces. I do not have a Chanel store anywhere near me, and we are probably going to Rome this summer. In your opinion, is it worth purchasing Chanel in Italy? Thinking the boy O case like yours, or earrings. Is it worth purchasing Chanel in Italy? Absolutely. And even if they end up having a price increase from now until the time you go, it'll still be less expensive to get it there versus buying it here in the States. Because here in the States, obviously it depends on the state that you live in. You also have to pay tax on top of the item. And over there, you don't pay tax, and you also get the VAT back from the item. So those savings are a lot better. And in some cases, the savings might end up being $150 to $200 to $300. It depends on the item. But I mean, I highly recommend getting something in Italy, and they might end up having completely different items that you would see here in the boutique. So sometimes I'll end up getting collections a little bit sooner. Sometimes they do end up getting a little bit later versus here in the States. But still, I think it is definitely something that you want to get if you're there. So safe travels when you go to Rome. How exciting. I absolutely love Rome. But yeah, hopefully that was able to help. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. today. I hope you enjoyed it. I had some fantastic questions this week. I try to give you guys as much eye candy as possible. And this week I have my January favorites. And for Wednesday, I still don't know what video will be going up. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.